Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic, and I want to welcome you to my channel, Opinion Stated, where I give unfiltered, opinionated sports takes. Let's go.
Halliburton to steal. Here comes Halliburton, Siakam, Neesmith, corner three, bang! It's deafening in here, a 20-point lead. Halliburton finds a spot, launches, and hits long three-pointer from Halliburton.
Pass deflected, Halliburton steals it.
Halliburton comes up with it. Cross court, Siakam for the slam. Siakam falling away, puts it in at the buzzer. They are dismantling OKC. Shepard just gets it off. It's good! It's good! The magic carpet ride for the Pacers is not over. They'll play for an NBA title on Sunday night in Game 7.
Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic. I want to welcome you back to my channel, Opinion Stated. It's been a great NBA basketball year. So for those who don't know, I started this channel last May the 8th to be exact, in the throes of the NBA playoffs, just to kind of start giving some of my perspectives on the game itself, what I was witnessing. And then obviously that carried us through the off season, through the summer league, into the preseason, etc., and then blasted us off through the present 2024-2025 NBA season, and now into the finals, where the Indiana Pacers are squaring off against the Oklahoma City Thunder, the heavily favored Oklahoma City Thunder to be exact. A lot of great basketball has been played throughout the season, a lot here in the playoffs, a lot here in the finals as well. I did not make a video since I made a video discussing game two, I think on the brink of game 3, I believe, where I did make a prediction that the Oklahoma City Thunder would even the series in Indiana. They split in Indiana, much like they did in Oklahoma City, and I predicted they would take the next 2 games. So I knew that the Oklahoma City Thunder would go up 3-2 in the series. Wasn't really discussing with the fact that they went up 3-2. My initial prediction was Oklahoma City in 6, just with respect to their dominance through the regular season and being the number 1 seed, the number 1 overall team record-wise in the NBA, historical, with all the feats and the records that they had broken in terms of point differential, etc. I've been really disgusted with how the referees have called the series. You know what I mean? I've lamented that through the playoffs. If you tapped into any of the other videos, doesn't matter whether you have or whether you have not. Man, before I dive into this content, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper through kind of some of my perspectives. Wanted to get these opinions off before the NBA season ends, because we're literally on the brink of Game 7. But before I dive too deep into the content, like the video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel helps you to stay in the know as to when my newest episodes are uploaded. You know what I mean? And liking the video obviously helps us cruise along algorithm avenue, where other individuals much like yourself who are interested in this kind of content can find us. Diving right in, man. I am entitling today's episode NBA Finals Game 7. Spoiler alert. So again, this has been an incredible final series, an incredible playoffs. I think, you know what I mean, from a standpoint of spoilers, upsets, you know, things that we've never seen before or things that we haven't seen in a very long time. This NBA Finals has been chock full of all of those things, or a lot of those things, for new basketball fans. I know that you've certainly enjoyed this playoff run if you've been paying attention, for all the historic implications and just for all the thrilling wins, losses, etc., upsets, the surprise wins and losses as well, the buzzer beaters, the you know what I mean, the triumphs, you know what I mean, for the underdog, etc. So that's what I've, for the most part, myself been enjoying through these playoffs. And you know, I spent a lot of time arguing with like casual fans of basketball on the internet, and I vowed to not do so, and like GOAT debating, etc., etc. But it's just interesting how casual fans start calling other fans casual fans. I'm not going to dig. I'm not going to get sidetracked by like going into this. But I only said that just to say, if you are a fan of basketball, you're really enjoying this finals run, especially with the Indiana Pacers, who are heavily disrespected by everybody because what they don't understand or don't seem to understand, even those who do not fancy themselves casual fans, right, who fancy themselves like, experts, etc., in the field, basketball is a team sport. Basketball is a team sport. Surprise, basketball is a team sport. It's better played with a team than it is played with just a star player that the entire offense and everything that we do successfully revolves around the star. It's better played with a team when everybody locks into their role, understands support, understands that, man, you might not have it tonight. I might have to step up. When you have a team full of individuals who can get it done, but everybody's content to play their role. Then when you have, a need and a necessity, somebody else kind of rises to the occasion, or somebody's rise to the occasion. That is exactly what has happened with Indiana in this series and throughout these playoffs. They don't have a superstar. Tyrese Halliburton is not a superstar. He's not a superstar. He's a star player for the team. Pascal Siakam's a star player for the team, but they're not superstars. They're not superstars by any stretch of the imagination. But you know what they do have? They have a team. They play a team basketball. And so for those who are shocked and surprised that this has happened, it's like, are you sure you watch basketball or really understand basketball? Or have you just been mesmerized for years watching just a star player do all the heavy lifting, and then you hope that the role players can kind of give a little something in contribution? But anyway, not to dig, to go far into that. I want to hear just really quickly from Tyrese Halliburton something that he had to say, and I promise you that this won't happen in this episode right here. Let's take a listen.
Right now, for the next 2 days, everybody's going to be talking about how good we looked, how well we played, how much pressure's on OKC. That's going to be the narrative. And we got to do a good job of staying away from that stuff. I think that can be poison.
And so, yeah, so I'm not going to talk about how good they look, how great they did, all that stuff, because that's not important. We are on the brink of a game 7. One of these small market teams is about to win a championship. One of these small market teams is about to win a championship. And it's going to be their very first championship in franchise history. I'm going to dig a little bit deep into that as far as the implications go, etc. But before I do so, this series is looking very reminiscent to a series that Oklahoma City played against the Denver Nuggets. It's literally, so far through 6 games, mirrored the exact series in terms of wins, losses, et cetera, where you can see Oklahoma City in the Denver series lost game 1, came back, won game 2, lost game 3, and then won the next 2, games 4 and 5, before losing game 6 to then end up having to play a game 7 in that series. Denver is the only team, or was the only team, to actually test Oklahoma City, pushing them 7 games prior to them facing off against the Indiana Pacers in this series that we're enjoying right now, and on the brink of enjoying a game 7. Every single ounce of energy, dedication, practice, film review, like, etc., that has taken place from the off season to this season, presently where we stand, all boils down to this one game in particular. This is literally one game for all the marbles. One of these teams is going to feel like all of that was contributed, that I just mentioned, was worth it for this season. And some team is going to walk away feeling dejected, man, like, better luck next year. Hopefully we get them then. I'm going to give a bold prediction here at the end. I'll hold it for now. I wanted to likewise, before I go any further, I want to talk about, some of the championship factors in this series. Championship factors as far as I am concerned. Some of these will ring maybe I'm maybe a bit like duh, to some of you. But some, hopefully not as transparent. But you'll see first on this list I have equalizer. The equalizer. The great equalizer for this series is that, and going into this game 7, is that both of these teams are youthful and inexperienced. They're both young and inexperienced. There's a player on each of these teams, in Pascal Siakam and in Alex Caruso, who respectfully have won a championship with another franchise outside of the teams that they presently find themselves a member of. But the rest of the teams are really young players, inexperienced players. And so that being equal, the pressure to win and to get it done, or the hope, the jitters, the man, this, the implications of what this game could mean for my career and my dream being fulfilled of winning a championship. If you've ever played basketball, and if you ever actually won a championship, I had the privilege of being a member of a high school basketball team that won a championship back in 1994. To date myself, shout out to my McKinley Tech, alum and teammates. It was a very special year. You know what I mean? Like, it was special, man. Just all the things that went into winning that championship, all the factors, all the things that had to fall into place. None of us had ever won a high school championship prior to then. So you don't necessarily have to have experience to do it, but experiencing all the ebbs and flows of the games that we won, the losses, the ups and downs, you know what I mean? Having everybody lock into their role and to understand and how we all contributed to, that championship ultimately nobody could ever take from us. It was phenomenal. It's one of those things that I will remember forever. You know why? Because you play basketball to ultimately be the last team standing. That should be the hope for every basketball player, not just to go out and get buckets, not just to go out and get stats. It's like, at the end of the year, when somebody's holding that trophy celebrating, I want that to be me. I want that to be us. I want that to be me and my teammates. You understand what I'm saying? And so the great equalizer in this sense, like I said, is that both teams are young and inexperienced. So the edge goes to nobody in that regard. Next point that I have here is six man in these championship factors. Six man, not traditional as you might be thinking. I'm thinking six man in the home crowd sense. Man, home cooking is incredible. And it's amazing to have the home team behind you and cheering and screaming and hooting and hollering and all that stuff. But obviously the edge in that regard would go to Oklahoma City because this game 7 is taking place in Oklahoma City. But man, Indiana has played villain all season. They have accepted this villain, you know what I mean, kind of a feeling. So I think for as much as it's a good thing that Oklahoma City gets the home crowd cheering for them and going crazy, like, you know what I mean, like this raucous crowd exploding every time a basket is made or a play goes your way. A team like Indiana is better on the road, have been better on the road in the playoffs. They thrive off of that energy of the opposing crowd. And so I don't know if it's necessarily, you know what I mean, like an edge to Oklahoma City where it's just like, oh man, there's nothing that Indiana can do, because man, the way that this fan base is going to be energized to cheer for their team during Game 7 is just going to be overwhelming for Indiana. Like, no, bro, they love shutting motherfuckers up. They thirst for it. And so that's going to be a definite championship factor, whether the home team, that home crowd, can push Oklahoma City, over the top, or whether the very hungry, you know what I mean, bloodthirsty Indiana Pacers can come in and shut that fucking crowd up. And so that's going to be interesting to see. Leadership I have on this list as well. Leadership not in the traditional sense either. I'm not talking about leadership on the team. Tyrese Halliburton does a great job of distributing, getting everybody involved, leading his team in that regard. Shea does the same thing. Obviously, having slid into the point guard role this year after they got rid of Josh Giddey. But I'm not talking about just the leadership on the court. I'm talking about leadership from the sideline when I speak leadership here. And Mark Dagnall has done a great job all season long, obviously, getting this team to the 68 regular season wins, or whatever it is that they finished with. I believe it's 68. I can be fact checked on that. But he did a great job to get them to this point, even some of the adjustments that he's made through the playoffs to get them to this point. Some faux pas. We've all seen that, kind of come with a young coach. But on the opposing side, or in the opposing bench, is a championship coach and Rick Carlisle, a coach who's been here before as the underdog in the finals. And, the edge I feel like goes to Indiana when you're talking about this as a championship factor, because man, you have a coach who's gotten it done on this level and who understands. So his mindset around preparation, around film study, around making the adjustments, around uh, instilling confidence in his team that they are enough. Like he's already done this before. And so I think the edge in leadership goes to the Indiana Pacers. Next on the list, you see I have the homie them. The homie them. So with this Oklahoma City franchise being uprooted from Seattle and dropped into Oklahoma City, what you don't see is what you see when the games are taking place in Indiana. You don't have this connection to the old players. You know what I mean? The homies, the OGs. They're not there. You know what I mean? Like embracing these kids and encouraging them, and you just don't see that with Oklahoma City. It would be really incredible if we could see a Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant there on the sidelines coaching them up, or just in the building to encourage them, saying, "Hey, man, we were here once before. This is what happened when we were here. Don't let that happen to you guys." Right? These are the things that we weren't prepared for. These are the moments. These are the breaks that we could have taken advantage of that we did, but you don't see that. But you conversely see that on the Indiana sidelines. You see Ron Artest, you see Jermaine O'Neal, you see Reggie Miller, you see a slew of others who've come through that franchise, I guess I'll say, over the years, and who put that uniform on once before, who almost got to the pinnacle but didn't quite make it. They're literally in Halliburton and these guys' ear, and they're so in TJ McConnell's ear, instilling confidence and belief and giving them mentorship. And I think that's missing. So that edge in, having the homie them back you up, pump you up, it definitely goes to the to the Indiana Pacers. Maybe as a championship factor, some are thinking like, man, that doesn't really matter. And I beg to differ, because we did have older alumni who played ball, who had banners hanging in the rafters in our home gym, come back to speak to us and sit in sideline at games, encouraging us and telling us how much it was going to mean for us to get the job done, to seal the deal so that we could hang up there with the greats who come before us, man. And I promise you, it makes a difference. It really does. Last but not least, the secret sauce. The secret sauce. This edge will go to Indiana. And the secret sauce as a championship factor really is belief. It is this unwavering belief when nobody else believes in you, when people are speaking negatively about you, when people, meaning their attention and their focus, is going, just with maybe unabated ignorance, you know what I mean? Like they're just programmed to cheer for the favorite. And they're giving all this energy to the favorite. Like, yay, it's going to be them. Let's crown them now. There's no way that this other team could beat them. And the other team just believes. They are dripping in the secret sauce. It's belief. It's, as my coach, one of my former coaches, Doc Robinson, used to say, it's desire. It's desire. The Indiana Pacers have displayed it all through these playoffs, and arguably since the calendar flipped in January in 2025, where they've been the absolute best team in the NBA. And to make it to a game 7, man, I think that secret sauce is definitely going to help them. So that's, you know what I mean, like that. I want to go into another graphic here, just to really quickly highlight some things that maybe were a big deal. Maybe I thought these things were a big deal. Maybe they weren't a big deal, but it's just some figures here, some stats, right? And stats, as I always say, stats can be, telling, but stats without context can be misleading. And so I just want to give some context. Maybe these don't seem as drastic at first glance as maybe they should, right? So we're just looking at fouls called in the actual NBA Finals so far. This is just through 6 games. The Indiana Pacers have had 135 fouls called on them as a team. The Oklahoma City Thunder have had 133 fouls called on them in the finals.
That's only 2 more fouls, Q. It's not a big deal. Like, come on, you reach it. That's a stretch. You guys always trying to make it seem like, what I'm saying, like it's there's some kind of advantage being given, blah, blah, blah.
Maybe. You know what I mean? Like maybe 2 fouls is not a big deal. It's not just about the foul calls, though. It's about where the foul calls come, how the fouls are called, and at what juncture. Sometimes you just get a loose ball foul or a foul of some degree. Doesn't necessarily take a player out of the game. Does add to their foul total to get them in foul trouble. Maybe that didn't It leads to them having to sit down. Maybe it's a foul in the act of shooting, or a foul that quickly gets them into the bonus. So it's a foul that's taking place while the other team's in the bonus to get them to the free throw line, which is the other stat here. Free throws in the 6-game series or the 7-game series that we've seen 6 games from so far being this NBA Finals. The Indiana Pacers have shot 157 free throws in this series. 157, man. And Oklahoma City, as you can see, has shot 183 free throws. 183 free throws. That's a 26 free throw difference, bro. I put the minus 26 up here and a plus 26 for emphasis. For emphasis, just to say, every one of these games hasn't been a blowout. You know what I'm saying? In order for us to even witness and observe the kind of game that we're going to need to observe coming up here, you know what I mean? I think the refs are going to have to take the whistle out of their mouth, calling ticky-tack fouls. I think the refs need to call these push-offs a little more closely. They definitely need to tighten up on these push-offs a little more closely. In the games that we have seen that have been competitive, the difference in those games is that the refs have taken the whistle out of their mouth, slanting, you know what I mean, like their whistles in favor of Oklahoma City, and they've called an even game. So they just remove the whistle from their mouth. I don't even want to see them come out early in this game 7 with a couple quick whistles trying to set a physicality tone. Let these boys play. It's game 7, man. Let them play basketball. Call the fouls that are necessary. The rest, get the fuck out of the way. Take the whistle out of your mouth, bro. Let them play. We don't want to see nobody get hurt. I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't allow excessive whistle blowing to determine this game 7. And because I don't think the NBA is going to do that, or these referees are going to do that, unless, of course, I'm not even going to say his name because I don't want to talk him up. I'm just hoping that the ref's name that I shall not mention, Scott Foster, doesn't happen to be refereeing this game. Leave Scott at home somewhere. You know what I mean? Leave him at home somewhere, bro. Scott Foster was a part of the Donahue 30 for 30, that documentary with the gambling, you know what I mean, like scandal that took place. He's one of those dirty refs. I don't care what anybody says. You can say what you want. The NBA didn't choose to take punitive action against he or a number of the other referees because Donahue was kind of falling on the sword there. But, bro, it is what it is. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding if you just look at the other games that he's called over the years. So, anyway, I'm saying that to say I'm hopeful that the NBA has gotten us to this point of the final game of the NBA season, being game 7 of the NBA Finals, to allow us to see great basketball played. Because if they have, man, what we are about to witness is going to be a great crowning of a championship. And I don't give a shit who wins. One of these franchises is going to hoist this trophy and a banner into the rafters for the very first time in their franchise history. For their fan base, it's going to be incredible. For the team and the players, the organization rather, and the players themselves, it's going to be amazing. You know what I mean? To watch as a fan. I'm biased. I don't like either one of these teams. It's going to be great for me to watch also. I'm just wanting to see that. Man, you gotten us all the way to this point. Don't let the refs fuck this up. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm hopeful for. Last but not least, I want to go into the just the odds here. You know what I mean? Like, according to FanDuel Sportsbook, and FanDuel Sportsbook does not endorse this channel. They do not line my pockets to have me share this data. When I looked at it, Oklahoma City was a 7.5-point favorite in the game. If you think that Indiana is going to take game 7, you know what I mean? Like, the odds are plus 245, so $1 gets you 245. The over-under is 215. I think that this is going to be a very tightly contested game. I think it'll definitely go over 215. But I think Indiana Pacers are going to win this game. My bold prediction is the plus 245 is a lock. I think Indiana is going to come out and win this game. When the refs take the whistle out of their mouths and allow these boys to play, Indiana is just a better team. They have been in the series. They have been in the series. No, if you watch the series, then you know that what I'm saying is true. When the refs take the whistle out of their mouth and just let the boys play basketball, Indiana has outplayed Oklahoma City. Indiana has outplayed most every team that they've been up against, or every team that they've been up against in this in this playoffs, when the refs just allow them to play. They are a well-coached team, a well-oiled machine, and my prediction is that the Indiana Pacers will become the 2025 NBA champions. I cannot wait for Game 7. Maybe I'll be right. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I can't wait to see it. That has been the basis of this episode. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Like the video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as well. I'll catch you guys in the next episode after Game 7. Absolutely look forward to it, man. Take care of yourselves until then. Bring on Game 7. Blessings.